All right, let's talk about Palantir Technologies. This is an incredible story, really, about some groundbreaking AI, huge government deals, and a stock that, well, it just seems to have defied financial gravity. So what is actually going on here? Let's get into it. So everything really kicked off back in 2024. While a lot of companies were still just talking about AI, Palantir's stock just exploded. We're talking a staggering 340% return. That wasn't just a good year, it was a massive signal of what was about to happen. And that momentum, it just kept rolling right into 2025. The stock shot up another 150%. Even when it had a 20% dip, investors were just waiting to jump on it. So that leads us to the big question. Really, how did Palantir pull off this incredible run when so many people were predicting a crash? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly what happened, what they're actually selling, and what it all means for the future. Okay, so to really get how this all happened, we first got to look at how investors completely changed the way they saw the company. There was a huge, fundamental shift in perception. And this is the absolute key, right? Palantir went from being seen as this risky, volatile meme stock to a legit, serious player. Getting included in the S&P 500, that gave it a whole new level of credibility. Now, big institutional investors see it as a foundational piece for the AI era, and anytime the price drops, they see it as a buying opportunity. So, what is actually driving these insane numbers? Let's get past the stock chart for a minute and look at the actual technology Palantir is selling, because this is where things get really fascinating. See, Palantir isn't just selling some fancy tool or another chatbot. What they're offering is a complete operating system for modern businesses. You gotta think of it like the Windows or Mac OS, but for a company's entire AI operation. And how they sell it is just as innovative. Their sales model, this AIP Bootcamp, is a total game changer. Forget the slow 6-month sales process. Palantir literally sends its engineers to a client's office, and in just 5 days, they build a real working solution to a real business problem. This approach just blows up the old timeline and makes Palantir totally essential to a business almost overnight. Now, at the very heart of all this is something they call their Ontology, and this is the real secret sauce. The best way to think about it is like a digital twin of an entire company. It's a living map of how everything is connected, the people, the data, the supply chains, the machinery. This rich context is what gives their AI the brains to provide smart, reliable answers, and crucially, avoid those weird, nonsensical hallucinations that other AIs can spit out. It's what makes their AI truly useful. So that all sounds impressive, right? But does it actually translate to real-world results? Let's check the scoreboard, because this is how we see if the technology is actually driving hard numbers. You have to remember, Palantir's whole foundation was built on its deep, deep ties with the US government. And we're not talking small deals. We're talking massive, mission-critical prime contracts. They are right at the center of the Army's $10 billion Project Titan, which is the next-gen battlefield network, and they power the Navy's Ship OS for maritime operations. This has basically made them the unofficial software prime for the Department of Defense. But the real growth story right now is happening somewhere else entirely. And here it is. This is the number that has Wall Street buzzing. 121% year-over-year jump in their US commercial revenue. This is the proof. This shows that their bootcamp model and their AI platform are breaking out beyond government work and are successfully penetrating the core of corporate America. Now check out this number. This is their Rule of 40 score. It's a key metric for software companies that basically adds their growth rate and their profit margin together. For a little context, in this world, anything over 40% is considered elite. So Palantir's score of 114%, that is almost unheard of for a company of this size. It just shows this phenomenal combination of super fast growth and really strong profitability. So with these absolutely remarkable numbers, we get to the trillion-dollar question that is just splitting the market right down the middle. Is this historic stock run actually justified, or is it a giant bubble that's about to pop? And man, the debate is intense. On one side, you've got the bulls. They believe this is like the 1995 moment for AI, the very beginning of the internet age, and that Palantir is becoming the essential operating layer for it all, pushing it towards a $1 trillion valuation. But then you have the bears. They're pointing to the sky-high valuation, over 115 times sales, and they're warning that the stock is priced for absolute perfection. They say any little hiccup in the AI hype could cause a massive correction.
Okay, so now that we have the full picture, the tech, the numbers, the debate, let's look at the key levels that traders are watching on the charts. These could signal where the stock is headed as we move into 2026.
So these are the battle lines that traders are watching. Up top, you have $207.52. That's the all-time high. A clean break above that could really kick off the next major run. Now on the downside, $175 is a key support zone where the big institutions might step in to buy. But if that level breaks, the next major area where buyers could show up is down around $155. And all of this leaves us with the one central question. There's really no doubt that Palantir has built an incredibly powerful, maybe even dominant AI operating system for the modern world. But the ultimate debate for any investor is this: at this price, is it the right operating system to build a portfolio around? The answer to that is going to be one of the biggest market stories for years to come.